evening, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. A very warm welcome to the 12th meeting of the Champion Evaluators Advanced Toastmasters Club, a space where feedback becomes fuel and evaluation becomes an art. As we gather today, I'm reminded of the words of Maya Angelou, an iconic poet and civil rights activist, who beautifully captured the essence of growth when she said, "Do the best you can until you know better. Then, when you know better, do better." That is exactly what evaluation is about. In this club, nobody fails, we grow. We speak to improve, we evaluate to elevate, and through purposeful feedback, we continuously refine our skills. This mindset strengthens every evaluator, sharpens every speaker, and deepens the learning we take away from each session. This evening promises an enriching experience with impactful speeches, thoughtful evaluation, and engaging panel discussion designed to stretch our perspectives and sharpen our competencies. Before we begin, a few gentle reminders. Please join from a quiet, distraction-free environment. Keep your video on to maintain the energy and connection of our club. Use reaction buttons, a clap or a thumbs up, to appreciate and encourage our speakers and evaluators. Now, to officially set the tone for today's meeting, may I invite our club president, DTM Jyotika Shetty, a distinguished Toastmaster, whose commitment to quality learning sets the benchmark for our club. Over to you, Madam President.
Thank you very much, distinguished Toastmaster Savita. Let's give Savita a huge round of applause. And a happy new year to all the champions here. I hope you've had a great new year and the year 2026 has started with the bang. Can I have thumbs up if this is indeed, yes, fantastic. All right, but since the new year has joined for me, my time has been in painting the house, refurbishing the house, and things very different. So for the past, I say almost 2 weeks, I've been in a different world. And yesterday was a day when everything got over. And I realized one thing, that while my bedroom, actually the bed is missing and it seems empty, I really feel so nice. I feel nice because I realize that sometimes it's so important to clean, to declutter what we have at home. It's so important. And not only declutter, it's also important to buy some new things and give a different perspective. And this actually is a learning for me, and I'd like to share that with you all, that sometimes if life seems heavy, if things are too chaotic around, just take a step back. Declutter. Not only declutter, celebrate by treating yourself with something new. Because the change is very important. It is the change that is important in our life that brings different perspective and some happiness, because that is totally therapeutic and very important for your future growth. So learn to pause, learn to treat yourself, declutter, buy something new, and then you can move forward. If that makes sense, you can apply it, because it makes total sense for me and it's really working for me. So I'm really charged up for 2026. Although now I'm a little bit under the weather, but I'm totally charged for 2026. So a warm welcome again to champions, and I really hope this year is going to be even more outstanding for us. The Korean heart. I don't know which way it goes, but whichever way it is a heart. All right. Okay. A few things before we move ahead. I'd just like to remind you that our evaluation contest and ISC contest will be held on the 26th of January. How many of you are ready with your speech? Okay, we have Ashima. That's my own hand. So I was like, okay, I was happy with another hand there. Just Ashima? What about the others? Oh, Daryl is there. Malini ma'am? Sorry? Divya, Savita, Srivatsa. Srivatsa, I know you're the contest master, contest chair. Yes, ma'am.
I'm there, but not ready with the speech.
Okay, but you're participating. Maria ma'am, I hope you're participating.
I'll try.
All right. Now, there's another thing. It's not only the ISC, we also have the evaluation contest. Now, tell me, give me a thumbs up if you think that all of us should be participating in this particular segment.
Yes.
Okay, don't quote me for that because I'm not there. But I want each one of us to participate. We're champions. We're here to get better in evaluation. But our aim should also be, although people say the only thing is not getting onto that district stage, but I want each one of us to get onto that district stage. Not all at once, but at least once a year. Can we do that? Can we try? Can we aim? Because we can do it. Every single person. If you've seen a winner last year, that winner also has started from somewhere. And sometimes you feel that, oh, I'm better than this person. Haven't you felt that? I think we all have. So I think we can start off aiming to be on that district stage and become true champions in being a good evaluator. So I'll take that as a promise from you. Please participate. I wouldn't mind all of us participating. And I mean, I have nothing to mind or not. I really want you all to do it, but let's all participate in the contest. Obviously, if you're a role player, you cannot do it. But if you're not doing anything, I really want to see you as a contestant. Please do that because that is the lifeline of our club evaluation. The second one is we need to bring more energy. How many of you think that the energy is a little bit low because probably we've been so engrossed in our celebration and we're still in that mood? Do you think we need to bring in that energy a bit? I mean, let's be honest.
Yes.
We know we need to,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Yes.
So let me remind you all that we have something called as a practice circle, evaluation practice circle, just in case if you've forgotten it. Just in case. How many of you remember we have a practice circle here? Oh, we do. Savita does. Ashima does. I do. Daryl? Yes, Daryl is VP Education. He has to. So, yes, Dr. Balal. Oh my God, Dr. Balal, I'm seeing you with this, with the scrub. Is that called as a scrub, right? You're muted, Dr. Balal. We can't hear you.
I've just finished an operation and I cannot go home. If I go home, then I'll get stuck in the traffic jam and I
All
will
right.
miss the meeting. So I'm from the post-operative ward. I'm attending the meeting from post-op ward.
Oh my God.
What
Can we give Dr.
commitment?
Huge,
What
can we give him a
commitment?
huge round of applause? This is really good. Daryl, can we click a picture? I really want to capture Doctor with this. Let's click a picture, Daryl.
Srivatsa,
No, doctor, we want to see you. Srivatsa. Sorry.
I
Okay.
think he could be spotlighted.
Yes. Can we capture it with the spotlight? Yeah.
I feel like
With a
covering my
Korean
face with
hat.
all this.
Let's click a picture, Dr. Balal.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
All right.
Don't advertise it too much. Only advertisement for SIAT.
No, we want to show how committed our members are. And Dr. Balal will be participating in the evaluation
I
contest. Much
can't.
committed.
I'm
I know.
ineligible. I'm
I know.
ineligible
I
because I
know.
ended up being a judge.
Yes.
I never read the contest rule book. So that's why I say every contestant must read the rule book. Contestant two must read.
For those of you who are not aware, please note that if you participate as a judge, a voting judge, or a chief judge, you cannot participate in the similar contest segment in any of the levels, even at the club, area, and the division level. So please be careful. If you if you have plans to participate in any of this contest, please do not refrain from taking up roles as voting judge or chief judge in any of the other contests.
I was a chief judge at the
Yes.
Karavali, you see, so I can't.
Yes.
Never mind, another year, next year.
Yeah, that's something you have to be careful. So please read the rule book. So that's one. The second thing is practice circle. Please come back to the practice circle and practice. It really yields a lot of, it will bear a lot of fruit. So please do it. The third one is that today we have introduced our Vice President Education, Daryl, has posted a document in the group, which is in our audience practice worksheet. This is something that we've come up with to help you become better evaluators. So it's basically a template that you can fill while the speaker, I mean, just like an evaluator. So if you're not taking up an evaluator's role, no worries. But in the same meeting, you can fill in the template and try to evaluate the speaker. But this particular template will give you a guideline or a flow of how the evaluation could be. So if you're stuck in some areas of the evaluation, this template will be of great help. However, I would really like to receive your feedback once you've used it. In case if any change is required in this particular template, you're free to receive that feedback and we can improvise it. All right. With that being said, let's move on to the meeting now. And to take the meeting forward, we have with us a very new member, a member who's been a Toastmaster and a part of Konkan Toastmasters. Someone who, I mean, he's a known face in the Bangalore circle. However, he is based in Bangalore and he joins us from Bangalore today. Let's put our hands together for Toastmaster of the evening, Toastmaster Warren Cordero. Over to you, Warren.
Thank you, Madam President. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome, everyone. I'm Warren Cordero, and it's a privilege to serve as your Toastmaster of the day. And I'll admit, it's my first time wearing this hat in this club. So if I look slightly nervous, just remember, even evaluators need evaluation. Now, this is not an ordinary Toastmasters meeting, and this is certainly not an ordinary club. This is Champion Evaluators Advanced Toastmasters Club, a space where feedback is not casual conversation, but a craft, where evaluations don't just critique, they coach, where we don't point out faults, we point forward. Because here we believe in one powerful truth: we grow when we are guided. And tonight we will witness that growth, speech by speech, insight by insight. Our session unfolds in 3 segments: prepared speech, evaluation, and panel evaluation. Each one designed to sharpen not just the speaker, but the evaluator too. And to keep us aligned with time, because we, even champions, must respect the clock, we have a timer for today, Toastmaster Kalika. Kalika, we rely on you to keep our speakers and evaluators on track. And a gentle reminder to all participants, please watch for the timing signals and ensure our timer is clearly pinned during the speeches. Thank you, Kalika, for keeping time on our side today. We begin our prepared speech segment. Here, speakers present rehearsed speeches, but in this club, we don't just listen to enjoy, we listen to absorb, analyze, and understand. Because every gesture, pause, and phrase becomes material for meaningful feedback. We have 2 speakers today, and I invite our first speaker, Toastmaster Maria DiCosta. May we have a quick audio check? Maria DiCosta, can you say, I am audible?
I am audible.
Thank you. Toastmaster Maria DiCosta is working in the Presentation Mastery Path, Level 1, Project 4, Repeater Speech. The purpose of this project is to apply feedback received from a previous speech and demonstrate improvement. A perfect fit for a club dedicated to evaluation excellence. Ladies and gentlemen, Maria DiCosta, I am there. I am there, Maria DiCosta.
The night nurse, Sister Evelyn, went to have a last look at Reese, a patient who was on deathbed in the ICU. She could see his dear ones weeping, and the person he was engaged to, Raylan, saying, Reese, stay, don't go away. I want you. We will be married soon. This weeping was so loud that something shifted in Sister Sylvia. As the relatives had to clear the ICU room due to the norms of the hospital, Reese, the patient, was left alone. He was very serious, and everyone had given up hopes. Sister Sylvia made a quick call home, came back, sat next to Rees's bed, held his hands, and said, I am there. The dying Rees opened his eyes. His eyes flickered and closed shut again. Sister Sylvia held his hand a little tighter and said, Rees, I am there. This time, the color on Rees' face changed. His hand became warmer, though it was very cold before. Again, she kept saying, Rees, I am there. And with that, there was a feeble smile, a smile of hope. And the rest, friends, is history. Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Friends, you and I have several opportunities in the world just to say to those in trouble, to those in need, I am there. The world needs you, friends. Use these myriad opportunities to heal the world, to touch the world, to save the world. There is Rahul, a student of mine, low in confidence, just out of the pool of depression. And why? Because he lost a well-paid job. For the last 10 years, he is jobless. And I'm trying to get him into a good company. He says, ma'am, I know you are there for me. I just said it once for him. Rahul, don't worry, I'm there. Today, Rahul is on his way to success. And when I asked him where he stands on his confidence rating, he says, I am 9 on 10. Then there is Juliet, who came home and said, I don't want to live. I'm going away. My family has left me, disowned me, blamed me for something that I didn't do. I want to die. I don't want to live ever. Juliet had lost her husband 4 months ago. And she was so helpless and alone in the house that she had nobody to turn to. And when she came home, I just said, Juliet, don't weep. I am there. Friends, we meet Reeses, several Rahuls, and several Juliets in our life. All that we need to say is, I am there. Or I am there. Say it with the sincerity of your heart. and hold that hand. Prove that you are there. And then you will see things transforming miraculously. If you have somebody in your life who needs that support, that confidence, and is carrying a burden of sorrow and diffidence, I am there. Yes, friends, I am there. Over to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you. May I now request our timer, Toastmaster Kalika, for the timing report?
The timings taken by the speaker is 6 minutes and 52 seconds. Thank you.
Thank you, Kalika. May I request the Zoom master to move the evaluator one, Ashima Jain, into the breakout room?
Done. You can proceed.
Thank you. Our second speaker is Toastmaster Divya D'Souza. Divya D'Souza, a quick audio check, please. Can you repeat? I am audible.
I am audible.
Thank you. Divya is working in the presentation mastery path, level 3, persuasive speaking. The purpose of this project is to understand different types of persuasive speeches and deliver a speech that inspires belief and action. Ladies and gentlemen, Divya D'Souza, the courage to be yourself. The courage to be yourself, Divya D'Souza.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests, let me ask you all a question. When was the last time you were truly yourself, without editing words, adjusting behavior, or wondering how people perceive you? I'm pretty sure that the answer all of us may say is rarely. So today I'm going to share with you something that is deeply personal to me, the courage to be yourself. So let me take you down a journey way back when I was a little child. When I was a young girl, I always remember my mother saying, Divya, you should be seen and not heard. And I would wonder why. She said girls should always be prim and proper, polite and respectable. And I wasn't always respectable, and I always was sure to get a nice whack from my mother. And slowly, I find myself becoming silent, nodding, smiling, adjusting. And slowly, as I grew older to becoming a teenager, I also had to swallow some of my opinions, even when my voice or my thoughts really mattered. Sometimes even I would stop myself from expressing myself, especially when it hurt me. And sometimes I would forget to even say what I really wanted to say because I wasn't sure that I was going to be even heard. Years passed, my friends, before I even realized I had gotten into that pattern of adjusting myself so that I will be liked, I will be accepted, or maybe even loved. So, as days went by, years went by, I was functioning, smiling, doing all the things that I was expected to do. But years later, it was one day when my 5-year-old daughter, Sasha, just slapped me out of the reality that I was in. She said, Mama, you always say, believe in yourself, because only when you believe in yourself, people will believe in you. And I said, so what am I doing wrong, Sasha? She says, Mama, every time you wear a sari or wear anything, you keep asking us, how am I looking? Am I dressed well? Or how did I speak? Did I speak well? Why are you asking questions? Don't you believe in yourself? And that day, I had a very silent but a very unsettling revelation. that I'm 40 years old and I'm still seeking validation. I'm 40 years old and I'm still waiting for permission to live my life the way I want to live it. So I made a decision then, my friends, that I'm not going to seek validation anymore. I'm going to take that small step for myself. So from then, I learned that there was not going to be any drama because of this revelation or tears or breakdown. I would start small. And from then, I realized that it would only have to be one small task, maybe one small truth, or maybe even an opportunity to stand for myself for who I am, or maybe even to say no when I really wanted to say no and not just say yes because I had to please somebody in my family or my friend. Slowly but surely, I learned that I was standing by myself, no longer abandoning myself just to seek approval from others. So may I invite you all, my friends, to just take a moment to think and pause. How many times in our lives do we do this? We are always seeking approval from our family, sometimes from our employers, or even from our friends. And at what cost? We're losing ourselves just because we want to gain others. And at the cost of what? Losing who you are, your authenticity, your credibility. Because when you change yourself just for acceptance from others, you must remember something that I wish I had learned a long time back. The version you present yourself or the version you present into others is being accepted, not the real you. So I decided that day that if I want to be true to myself, I first have to be honest to myself. And that started the journey of authenticity. So may I all invite each and every one of you to take that courage, take that step, because why, my friends, do we actually stop ourselves? What is the real reason that we're not able to reveal who we are? It's only because of this 4-letter word, F-E-A-R, fear. Sometimes we have the fear of being accepted. Sometimes we have the fear of disappointing others. Or sometimes we have the fear of not being liked. And that's all we want. Every human being wants to be loved, wants to be accepted. So what can we do? How can we embrace ourselves, be authentic, and be true to ourselves? Just as I shared with you a few moments ago, all it takes is one honest answer. One moment when you can say no, even when inside you're scared to say. Or maybe another time where you have to stand for yourself, for what matters. And maybe some of your friends may drift away, but that's okay. That happened to me as well. But the ones that stayed were the ones that connected to me, the true me, not the version that I performed. So I decided that day I will stop performing. I will stop adjusting. I will be who I am, just as I am. So let me ask all of you, ladies and gentlemen, I think you could try just a little courage, just to be yourself, rather than pleasing others. Accept yourself, because on this hand, you may lose your peace. On this hand, you may gain it. But what matters is you've come home to yourself. So have the courage to be yourself. Thank you. Over to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you. May I request the timer's report, please?
Yes, the speaker took 7 minutes and 35 seconds. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kalika. Zoom Master, can I request you to move Evaluator 2, CK Ballal, DTM CK Ballal into the breakout area and get in Evaluator 1, please?
Done.
Thank you. Having heard the prepared speech, we now move into the evaluation session. This is where Toastmasters become mirrors, reflecting strengths, mentors guiding improvement, and motivators inspiring growth. Our purpose is simple: celebrate what worked, suggest what could work better, and leave the speaker stronger than when they began. A gentle reminder to mark your ballots as the evaluation proceeds. May I now invite our evaluator, first evaluator, Toastmaster Asima Jain, to present the evaluations.
Good evening, everyone, my dear Toastmasters and guests. Today, I felt such a privilege to evaluate DTM Toastmaster Madam Maria D'Souza. What a speech! The way she has portrayed the emotion from starting till end with the appropriate message, it hooked me forever. While evaluating today, I would like to break my whole evaluation into three parts. That's highlights, recommendation, challenges. The first highlight, I like the way you have structured your speech by giving us three small stories that has a clear message from reviving a patient to depression, third, losing someone, and how you played an important role in handing their hands all this while. Second point, the opening of the speech, the important story of an ICU, how Sister Sylvia was there for her patient Reese, and the way you maintained all your characters is like commendable, ma'am. The whole setting, I mean, the starting story just hooked us as an audience and made sure that our expectations were set on, that it's an emotional speech and you are trying to give a message of how you can support others in today's life where we don't see humanity at all. Recommendations. You started a speech at a low volume or a low pace. And all of a sudden, I saw enthusiasm in your voice where it's supposed to be the emotion, especially after you said, Good evening, Toastmasters and my dear guest. The story was still about Raul and Juliet, where you could have maintained the same emotion of sorrow and defiance. But I felt that was missing. Second, you had really short and crisp stories about three different uh, people, three different characters. I felt you could have used social activists or great leaders like Mother Teresa and quote their own saying that how they used to be human towards other human, always opening their arms towards everyone. So I think that you could have added that. Challenges. The only challenge I would like to give you is whenever next time you are preparing a speech, and writing it. Make sure you stick to that emotion and that whole level of messaging all across the speech. At the summation, I would say you have successfully took your first speech feedback into your second speech, that is the tonal variation and the stage usage being in online. Kudos to you, ma'am. At the end, I would like to say, Madam DTM, I would like to hold your hands in any which way possible. I'm there for you. Thank you so much. Over to you, Timot.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ashima. Daryl, may I request you to get DTM Sikibalal too?
Done.
Thank you. Evaluator 2, DTM Sikibalal. Your video is not visible and I think you're on mute.
I'm
Doctor, you're on mute.
muted, and can you see me now?
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes. I think our audio video check was also done. You can proceed.
Okay, it's my turn now. What a motivational speech today. Divya D'Souza took us through her life journey of being herself. You started with a rhetorical question to the title of your speech, saying, "Do you have the courage to be yourself?" And the rhetorical question was, when were you last yourself? So, just as you went through your life's journey of being yourself, it got me thinking too. So, that was a very good style of opening a motivational speech which you had with a rhetorical question. And that was a head turner for me. And you had that immediately, you grabbed my attention. I'm sure you grabbed the attention of almost all in the audience. You took us through the journey when your wife, when your mother was trying to modulate your behavior and asking you to be proper, and your daughter, so many years younger than your mother, obviously, and much, much younger than you, your daughter Sasha, such a young person, pointing out to you that why do you have to pander to other people's tunes and wishes and asking for validation all the time. So, to commend you, I would like to commend you on the selection of the topic, the selection of the title of the speech, and coming back to the thought with a very good transition from being not yourself to being yourself through your life. I would also like to commend you on your body language, particularly when you made that gesture of that small step, which led you to a big step later. But I would have liked you to demonstrate the big step which you took, and you only demonstrated the small step. But otherwise, very good body language. On the other hand, I thought the voice modulation was for Askins. A little bit of Askins, particularly when you said that small step. I would like to demonstrate that. The gesture was there, but the voice modulation was lacking. And similarly, the voice modulation with a big change, the gesture was there, but not the voice modulation. So I would like to say that on one hand, you have excellent body language, but voice modulation, but the gestures were not pari passu with the voice. I would like to summarize by saying that a good selection of the topic, a thought provoking opening, and a closure asking us to be by ourselves. The only way and the way to take yourself forward and take this speech, motivational speech, to a higher level would be by working on your gestures to match your voice modulation. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. A gentle reminder to all to mark the ballots.
I
While
could not see the
request-
timer at all. I could not see the timer. I'm sorry.
Toastmaster Kalika, can we have the timer's report, please?
Yes, just give me 1 minute. Yes, evaluator 1 took 4 minutes and 11 seconds, and evaluator 2 took 3 minutes and 13 seconds. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, timer. And now we arrive at the signature segment of this club, the panel evaluation. Here, evaluations themselves are evaluated, not to judge, but to evaluate, not to correct, but to refine. Multiple experienced voices, multiple perspectives, one shared purpose, excellence in evaluation. To guide this session, may I invite a panel moderator, DTM Srivatsa. Over to you, DTM Srivatsa.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Varun. Now is a segment we all are waiting for, and let's learn, improve, and grow as a good evaluators with the outcome we get from this particular panel discussion on the evaluations, what the evaluators have provided, and slight inputs from the speakers as well. To join me, we have two distinguished Toastmasters who will be the panelists for the session. First, I would like to call upon Distinguished Toastmaster Malini Hebar, and next, Distinguished Toastmaster Jyotika Shetty as a panelist for the meeting. Welcome. Today, a small note for the timer before I begin. Please show the red card at 10 minutes so that we can shift to the next speaker, next evaluator, and go ahead with questions for the same.
Srivatsa,
What's up?
Yes.
Sorry.
could I request the timer to give the timing again?
Yeah, that's what I.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
for
have
the evaluators, right?
1 point.
The evaluators, I would like to know the timing taken by the evaluators.
Yes, I will repeat
I have
that.
1 point to make, please, before you guys start. I'm evaluator 1, Ashima. The only thing is, I started speaking quite late. So I just want to check, have you started timing when I started speaking, or the minute I was out of the breakout room? So that one thing I have a little.
I started the timing when you started speaking.
Okay, fine.
Evaluator 1 took 4 minutes and 11 seconds, and evaluator 2 took 3 minutes and 13 seconds. 13.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kalika. So just a one red flash at 10 minutes. Dear panelists, we had a wonderful session today with the speakers having presentation mastery. Just an out-of-box question to you both. The presentation mastery path was chosen by both the speakers. What do you expect from the members seeking presentation mastery path should deliver on stage? Malinima?
As suggested by the name itself, presentation mastery, when you say, it is their stage performance that would be of great importance, because all of us are here taking different paths, looking at our own probably weak points, trying to get over them, or some of us may even look at our own strengths and take that path. I don't know. It's a debatable question. Probably, if you want to grow, you would look at your weakness and take a path that would help you in your weakness. Doing it the other way might be to win contest and things like that, because
Got it.
both will have its own, both will have their own logic behind choosing that. So presentation mastery, when you say, we look at their ability to stand their ground and to make an effective presentation, to not only inspire but also impress the audience with their performance. And
Got it.
that, yes.
Got it. Understood. What about you, Jyotika? What do you think about presentation mastery?
I agree with DTM Malini. Yes, the presentation aspect, which involves the verbal and non-verbal cues, and therefore it's a holistic approach, which includes the structure, that's the presentation, and the way they deliver in terms of their body structure, the body language, and their verbal communication as well. So I would look at everything.
So, a brief question on overall. Just an yes or no from your end will be required. Were speakers excelled at their project guidelines under the presentation mastery, the thoughts which you provided today? Were speakers did they excel in their presentation skills today? Yes or no?
Are you
Okay.
asking me?
Anyone, both of you, the ground is open. Both of you can answer. Only yes or no, no explanations.
No,
How about you, ma'am?
not for both. I mean, one of them, yes, and one of them, no.
Okay. What about you, ma'am?
I would probably look at it as
No,
to
just
a
yes
large
or no.
extent. Both
Just
of
yes or
them.
no.
Yes. Yes or no?
Just
Yes.
yes or no.
Yes.
Okay, fine. So now let's jump into the first evaluator, Toastmaster Ashima Jain. I would like to know insights about opening the evaluation speech. Was it good or what can be improved? Distinguished Toastmaster Malini, ma'am.
Okay. On the one hand, it was a clear-cut approach as to what she was going to do. So she placed her structure before us. That was a good thing to do because you know that the evaluator knows her business by giving us that structure. On the other hand, by going back to each of those aspects, like the side heading in an essay, you see, in a science paper, we say put the side heading so that your examiner knows what you're writing. But we, as English teachers, advise our students not to put the side heading because it makes it too mechanical. So we expect them to be more creative. Likewise, in evaluation also, after having said what is it that she's going to deal with, I felt it was not necessary for her to give that kind of, okay, I'm moving on to this, moving on to that. That for me was not very creative to do.
Got it. Got it. Understood. Distinguished Sushma Jyotika, for you, the evaluator started with it's a privilege for me to evaluate Distinguished Toastmaster Maria de Costa. Was it needed?
I would say it wasn't needed. It's great to make them feel good, but I think from the perspective of a good evaluation and the time limit that is given, I would say that those are the things that you could avoid.
Okay. What could have been done better in the opening of Toastmaster Ashima's evaluation?
Well, I can say how I do it, and that has been an anchor on how I try to do my evaluation. Is I go back to the message. What is the message that I got out of the speech, and probably connect it to the way I want to present it. So, if you want to pick a quote, for example, which people like doing, then pick a quote that is relevant to the message that has been delivered. For example, in this particular, she was there. I am there. So. An assurance to people that you give, or her stories that clearly demonstrated that. So you could probably start off with that. That clarifies and makes it very clear that this message came to me in the way, in the manner it has to be delivered. So an opening of that sort would probably help. And that's the way I
Got it.
use it, and it makes it easier for me to carry forward the evaluation.
Got it. Understood. While coming on to the highlights, Toastmaster Ashima beautifully mentioned highlights, recommendations, and challenge, which is going to put up for the speaker. While coming to the highlights, there were 3 points which you mentioned. The speech structure. What do you want to tell about the speech structure which you mentioned, the 3 stories, as a highlight? Was it a highlight for the speaker taking on with respect to the structure part, or how it could have been done? She mentioned it as a highlight. Do you agree that was a highlight? Is my question, Distinguished Toastmaster Jyotika.
Well, I think, yeah, because those 3 stories, what really stood out for me in the speech is the structure. And I think she rightly pointed out, saying the 3 stories that clearly articulated or brought out the message, rather accentuated the message. So I think she was okay in that. But what really didn't probably could have improved is the fact that she spent a lot of time in these things. So when you evaluate, when you're saying the 3 stories, how 3 stories really helped her to understand the message properly, and how did it improve the entire message or the entire speech? So brevity is the name of the game here for me. One thing that if I would say that even if those highlights were proper or the relevant observations have been made, probably she could be a little more brief in mentioning it.
Got it. Now to Distinguished Toastmaster Malini ma'am. Ashima mentioned on the characterization part as a commendation. Do you feel the characterization was brought out by the speaker very well? Wasn't it confusing? What are your thoughts on it?
No, I didn't find it confusing at all. I
Hmm.
also felt that she could bring out the tonal
Hmm.
variety, what she was supposed to do.
Hmm.
When she spoke about the different characters, she had
Hmm.
the scope for tonal variety, and that was one of the recommendations. Now, if I
Correct.
can go back to your earlier question, which you posed to
Hmm.
Jyotika but not to me, I would
Hmm.
like to say that you asked her about how she should have begun, right? Now,
Hmm.
every other speech, yes, as Jyotika made a very pertinent point about the message. But this particular speech is a repetition speech where the
Hmm.
speaker will have to keep the feedback in mind. So I
Hmm.
would probably highlight the previous
Hmm.
feedback and then
Hmm.
use that as the launching pad and then
Hmm.
see whether she did justice to the
Correct.
evaluation that was given to her. And I
Hmm.
would also think about the recommendation itself because in the
Hmm.
case of Maria DaCosta, I felt that a recommendation of tonal variety, I wondered why such a
Hmm.
recommendation was given because for me, Maria DaCosta has that richly in her. So it made me wonder whether she did not have it in the previous speech, but she had it now, whatever. Okay, so I would probably go to the recommendations in this particular speech. And the other question that you posed to Jyotik also, you did not pose to me. That was about the three stories and all that. Now,
Hmm.
I would say I would agree with Jyotika completely that she did justice to that and about brevity, everything. I felt that she was all right there, Jyotika. That's what I felt. That when she covered the story, she did not prolong it too much. She just
Hmm.
took it as the reference point. But probably the delay came further when she came, to the last part of the speech. There was certain delay, I felt. Stories themselves, I felt she was okay because she didn't stretch it too much. Sometimes, evaluators repeat the whole story unnecessarily, and that kills the evaluation thoroughly. But here I
Hmm.
felt that she had the ability to kind of move on from the story. That's what I felt.
Got it. One more repeat. Next question for you, distinguished Toastmaster Malini ma'am. She mentioned there was a sorry, as this was a second speech and evaluation and feedback part. Don't you think what was the previous evaluation which was given to the speaker should have been pointed out at the beginning
Yes,
itself?
yes.
That's what I said, Srivatsa, that I would
Hmm.
take that as the beginning of evaluation. That's what
Hmm.
I said. That's what I agree with Jyotika when she says message part and all that. But because of this speech, which is a repeat speech, I would begin with a recommendation to see how far
Hmm.
she incorporated, because that's the whole objective, right, of this
Correct.
speech, whether the speaker is able to incorporate that. So that
Hmm.
would be my launching pad if I were to be the evaluator. That's what I said.
Got it. Distinguished Toastmaster Jyotika, one of the recommendation was low voice, and then the enthusiasm came into picture. How would you rate this recommendation? I mean, was it fine tuned, or was it needed this particular part, or did the speaker excel here?
Well, here actually was a bit confusing for me because she used two words here: low
Hmm.
volume, voice modulation.
Hmm.
Whereas the voice modulation was there, like DTM Malini mentioned, the voice mod, especially I like the way the last story, in the way she brought out the sorrow that really
Hmm.
stood out for me. So it was a bit confusing for me. So I would say when the recommendations are given, be a little more thoughtful and understand it whether it really helps. Here, I would
Hmm.
say low volume. I felt it she was pretty okay in the
Hmm.
way she delivered, and I don't see any
Hmm.
corrections here. What really didn't sit well with me is the last part of the recommendation, which is use social
Yeah,
activist
I was
quotes.
coming about with I was coming to that with the next question.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Distinguished Toastmaster Malini, ma'am, what do you think that the one more recommendation of adding the message of leaders to be included, was it relevant?
See, I always go by this dictum. Don't talk
Mm-hmm.
about the absences, okay? Talk
Hmm.
about what the speaker has presented to you.
Hmm. Hmm.
Absences, if you start speaking about, there are millions of absences.
Huh.
No speaker can bring in everything that one would expect that. I go by my experiences and I want this in my speech, but I
Hmm.
can't impose that on the speaker. And also, I agree with the Jyotika that I too was confused because, on the one hand, when you say emotional intensity was there, on the other hand, you say that the volume was low and modulation. That was a little contradictory, even I felt. So I'm with Jyotika in saying that it
Yes.
confused me also.
Okay,
Also, I'd
fine.
like to just
Yeah,
add
sure.
to what DT Malini mentioned is that the last one, yes, absolutely, don't highlight what was not presented. Plus, I think it had more to do with the content of the speech. When you're saying that this quote was not there, you're talking about the content of the speech, which probably we could avoid because we're not evaluating the content of the speech. We're talking about the presentation and the structure of the speech and the speech on the whole. So I think that is
Got
something
it.
that she could avoid getting into.
Okay, final two questions for this particular evaluation. One to Distinguished Toastmaster Malini ma'am and one to Distinguished Toastmaster Jyotika. One Distinguished Toastmaster Malini ma'am, was a summation of the evaluation brought out well?
Not exactly,
Hmm.
because I felt that she was moving on to new points in her summation. For example, tonal variety, which she hadn't touched upon at all in the earlier part, she brought it in her summation. It was not actually a summation, it was a point that she could have taken much earlier. So, summation is you say what you have already said, but of course, not repeat yourself, but do it in a different manner and highlight whatever you
Got
have placed before the
it.
speaker as an evaluator. So I felt that
I think this
summation was
also
mixed up.
this makes a very important point here is that we often take words for granted. We think that tonal variety is a part of voice modulation and low volume. Perhaps she must have summarized it and said tonal variety. But we have to be very careful when we summarize it because, like Malini ma'am said, it looked like she's bringing in a new point and not making the previous point. So, mirroring what you have recommended would actually be the right way to summarize. But you didn't ask me that question, but I'd like to answer the question on the summary. I think there was no summary. The summary could have definitely been better.
Got it. Any one of you can answer this last question. The speech title was I Am There. Didn't you feel the speaker repeated so many number of times somewhere it felt it was overshooting or it was repeated as number of times which could have been controlled? Yes,
I would
distinguished
like to
response.
take this because I really wanted to talk on this aspect. I really want to say before, sorry, audience, excuse me. I counted she has used this word 10 times, this sentence or this, and I felt that really helped the message. It really helped the speech. I am there. She kind of, probably you could reduce the number of times you use, but I felt that it sat well with the way she was speaking, but it really brought the message out. I am there. So I think it really
Okay.
helped the speech.
Okay. So overall, from both of you, will you qualify the speaker on completing this particular project? Yes or no only?
Of course, I would do it 100%.
If only I could have known the observations beforehand. That is one reason I said I would actually start with my message. When a speech like this is there, I think probably we could have also given what was the previous observation that was made. I don't know. I didn't notice it, ma'am. Did you notice it? Was it told by
I
the
saw
TMO?
it because it was shared on the role takers group.
Okay.
Shima wanted to know
Okay.
what her previous speech was. Daryl also gave the recommendations. But
And
I
this,
would
yeah.
suggest, as Jyotika suggested, whenever we have a speech of this kind, we can give the previous suggestions to the TMOD so that the
Yeah.
TMOD can say that the previous suggestions were these, and now the speaker is going to repeat the speech. That would be helpful.
Yes.
Got it. So now let's move to the next evaluator, Distinguished Toastmaster C.K. Ballal. Here, same question I would like to ask now to Distinguished Toastmaster Jyotika. Was the opening good of evaluation?
Well, I think, yeah, it was subtle. He
Mm-hmm.
appreciated, and then he spoke about the rhetorical question. There's definitely room for improvement. Like this was a persuasive speech. So was he really uh, persuaded in what she was actually trying to accomplish? Is to take courage and be yourself. So probably that could be the starting point. That I feel that would be a better way to start off, an eye catchy or a catchy and an intriguing start.
But continuation, which will be passed on to Distinguished Toastmaster Malini Hebar, that evaluator in his overall evaluation, he was persuaded with the speech of Divya was completely reflecting. Do you want the speaker to include it in the opening itself, or how would you go about it?
Shivas, I'm not very clear. I'm not
No, the
sure.
persuasion of his, you want
Mm.
him to highlight in the opening itself, or is it
Okay.
fine if he goes
In
all
a
over his
persuasive
evaluation?
speech, whether
No,
the
yeah,
element of persuasion should be right at the beginning or whether it should come somewhere.
in the evaluation of the speak, in the evaluation speech.
Okay, whether the evaluator should refer to persuasion.
Yeah,
Okay, used by the speaker.
exactly.
Yes, as I said in with regard to the first
Hmm.
evaluator, I repeat myself.
Hmm.
The objective. See, the speaker has the creativity to bring in the objective anywhere as she
Hmm.
or he wants.
Hmm.
Speaker can be very creative in the approach, but an evaluator should make it very clear that he
Hmm.
or she has understood the objective being met or not being met. So
Hmm.
that should be referred to right at the beginning, I feel. That's my opinion. So that we know whether the evaluator has understood the speech in its whole entire perspective. Okay, the
Got it.
evaluator also can go wrong, you see. So
Hmm.
if the evaluator says the objective was not met, and if I feel that the objective was met,
Hmm.
immediately I start judging the evaluator
Hmm.
with my own, through my own scanner.
Got
Right.
it.
So I feel it is good for the evaluator to go to the crux of the matter right at the beginning. That's what
Understood. So,
Dr. CK did.
got it. Under commendations, the evaluator mentioned topic, title, thought of transition. Do you think any other points he could have added, Malini ma'am?
Under commendation.
Yes.
Um, Under commendation, I don't know. Again, I would like to say that that is what the evaluator has noticed as impressive points.
Hmm.
See, when you jot down for evaluation, you put down your
I
points.
agree. I just wanted to know what
Hmm.
additional points the evaluator could have added, which was better than the points which he has mentioned.
I don't know. I'm at a loss for ideas there. Jyotika can
Mm-hmm.
take this.
Yeah. So before taking this question, can I go back to the previous question?
Yeah,
Sorry.
sure, definitely.
Okay, because he started off with that
Hmm.
opening, but he also said it was a motivational speech. Now,
Hmm.
again, I go back saying that you have to be very careful in the choices of words because
Hmm.
it's a persuasive speech and it's not a motivational speech.
Correct.
Why I say this is because, yes, the element of
Hmm.
motivation is there, but the objective is persuasive. And
Hmm.
therefore, to start off with, if you really want to see, the congruency is very important. And if you're not
Hmm.
coherent in the way the objectives have been stipulated and the evaluation is being made, it kind of can disconnect with the audience from the very beginning. That's point number one. The second one is what more can be done. Yes, definitely, there's something more that could have been highlighted, and that is the message itself of the speech.
Hmm.
Now, why I say this is that if you actually go back to the recording and see, there were multiple messages that came out, whereas the message was one, which is courage to be yourself. But there were words like fear, want to be loved, say no, authenticity, be
Okay.
honest to yourself. These are all call to action.
Hmm.
So we've got to be very careful when we draft our script. What is that one message, that foundational phrase that you want to give your audience? If you ask me, I've come up with 5 messages from this particular speech. So for me to implement a persuasive, see, it's very difficult to, for a persuasive speech is what? You have to persuade your audience. And there are 3
True.
things that have to be there. One is your ethos, your pathos, and your logos. I keep going back to this. Now, was there credibility? Obviously, it was her story. Was there emotional content? Definitely, it could have been worked on. Was there logic? This is where it fell short. The logic is where I felt there were too many messages, and for me to say I've been persuaded, unfortunately, it fell short bit over here. So, for me, my recommendations to answer your question is work on your message. Filtering is something that would have really helped her.
Got it.
And
So,
also, sorry,
yeah.
I'm so sorry.
No worries.
And also, I think there was also the way she pronounced one word, revelation and relevation.
Ha.
There was a mistake there. So it was done twice. Once is a mistake, but twice is probably ignorance. And therefore, you have to be a little careful, which clearly shows that you've not practiced the speech well.
Got it, got it. So when now Jyotika was mentioning she took up the 5 action points which was there. evaluator has covered it in some or the other way. What is your recommendation for the speaker to cover these 5 aspects in a well-structured way? What could have been done by the speaker over here?
I think Srivat, are you asking me or
Yes, yes, yes,
Jyotika?
ma'am. You only, you
Okay.
only.
I think Jyotika had actually mentioned commendation, right? If I'm not
Yeah,
wrong.
Indeed.
So, I mean, she was filling in the blanks there by saying that those could have been
yeah.
highlighted because
No,
there were many multiple messages. That's what she was trying to say. The
correct.
second part was recommendation.
Yeah. So I just wanted to
Mm.
ask you here. The speaker had action points. Five action points is what Jyotika mentioned. I'm
Yes.
asking for the speaker, what could have been the betterment or how the speaker could have added these 5 points in a better way to convince the audience, or what could have been done better from her end is what my question is.
Okay. Uh, One thing, I mean, I have not taken this up very often, so I I get slightly. Daryl, in fact, cautioned me also about this particular role. I'm getting slightly confused because on the one hand we are speaking about the speaker, on the other hand we are speaking about the evaluator, right?
Correct.
So I would like to talk about the evaluator and then connect it to the speaker. So I think I will bridge the gap in that manner. So when it comes to recommendation, DTM CK Ballal gave her a couple of recommendations, but you are asking how she could have made those 5
Hmm.
messages stronger. So I felt that as a speaker, whenever you use you, right, when it comes to your suggestions, when you say you, trying to persuade another. But I always feel that if you say we,
Hmm.
I would rather,
Hmm.
we would rather, that would not distance you from the audience.
Got it.
I feel that the preaching tone should not be there.
Hmm.
The speaker should get over that preaching tone. And I felt as an evaluator, DTM CK could have noticed that, I felt, in his
Hmm.
recommendations. He could have asked the speaker not to have that preaching because the speaker should always show herself or himself as one with the audience, not
Hmm.
somebody speaking from the pulpit down to an audience. So
Got it. Understood.
that way.
Understood. Yeah, and here, Jyotika, for you, this question is, evaluator mentioned the recommendation points as voice modulation could have been better and excellent body gestures, not pari passu with the voice. This was the recommendation provided, but
Yeah.
what other recommendations could have been provided?
Well, again, I think Malini ma'am got a bit confused because I had mentioned about the structure in the commendation, and that's why she got a little confused. So first of all, there's a confusion over here when you're saying body language and gestures. So in the commendation, you already mentioned body language did not demonstrate the body language in the commendation part of it, whereas I think that was an observation that was made, whereas he said partly you have done it, like the small part you've done, whereas the big step you have not done. So that's where he brought in the gestures. So again, I keep going back and saying that when you say body language, it's always good to say be specific. Whether you're talking about facial expressions, whether you're talking about hand gestures, what kind of gestures. So recommendations, sorry, what was your question?
What else, what other recommendations could have been added?
For me, clearly it is the structure of the speech. Because one clear objective is the persuasive speaking. And for me, if you ask me whether I'm completely persuaded after listening to the speech to take courage and be myself, probably that's where it fell short. And therefore the structure will have to be worked on.
That was my
What I
last
think.
question for this. But likewise, Malini ma'am, this question is for you. Did you feel speaker was beating around the bush while conveying the message?
No, I didn't feel that she was beating around the bush, but I felt that one nice point she made. And DTM CK used a nice word also for that nice point that the speaker made, being modulated by your mother, he said, right? He didn't say controlled and things like that. Modulated was a very nice word that DTM CK Ballal used. Now, I felt Divya had a very nice structure there, conditioned by her mother, who belonged to an older generation, and liberated by her daughter, who belonged to another generation. So she had the scope of taking the speech to a higher level and showing how, generations go through
Got it.
different experiences and how the experiences can be liberating for the one who is caught in this in this juncture of transition.
Understood.
So that
Understood.
particular point I felt was a very nice point that Divya made. She herself could have made it more elaborate, and the evaluator could have highlighted that as a good point of the speech, I felt.
Understood. As we are running short of time, I have last two questions, one for each. Malini ma'am, this is for you. Did you feel the transitions were appropriate or was it proper for us to get persuaded from the speaker?
The speaker's transition.
Yes, yes.
See, transition is always a very difficult thing to achieve, in whether it is in a speech or whether it is an evaluation. That point of transition is very difficult because it should be done in a subtle manner. As I said earlier, you can't say, I'm moving on now. I finished with this. You can't do that in that manner. So, how creative you are while transiting from one point to another is your strength as a speaker. I felt it could have been better, probably.
Got it. Understood. Jyotika, this is for you. Was the conclusion great from the evaluator?
Well, it goes back to saying that one point that I'd really like to highlight, and Divya, probably it will help you in your future scripts as well, that when you're trying to make a point, never give an explanation after that. Because the more you explain, the point or the message loses its relevance. And therefore, I felt that she had a lot of explanations and she was trying to justify in not knowingly. I mean, it was unknowingly she was doing it, but that explanation. So when you make your point, pause, then move on to the next point and make your point, call to action, close it, right? So the explanation part, or rather, there shouldn't be an explanation part, but whatever context you're setting has to be in the initial stage. Then when you get into the message part of it, you have to maintain the pauses and no explanation there. Because that is where I got a bit lost. So again, I think Srivatsa,
Evaluator's conclusion, I meant.
Evaluator's conclusion, definitely the summary was good. Dr. Ballal really worked on the summary, and I think it was very clear to me, and I really liked the summary.
Okay. I can't end the panel discussion with this question of mine because I'm very much particular about the speech title. What could have been better at the speech title? What could have been made better? The courage to be yourself. It directly delivers me the message. To create a suspense, what could have been better? Any one of you can take it up.
Hello, I must interject a little bit here because you must give a chance for the evaluators to clarify certain points. Having gone at great lengths to tell us what we could have done better, there should always be a chance for the evaluator to specify and learn from the points that you made, because that's mandatory in this kind of club. And
Yes,
I
after
feel...
this, Dr. Ballal, after this, we will give you time to rebut.
Okay, right. Thank you. Yeah.
Sorry, what is the question, Srivatsa?
Yeah, this is on the title. What could have been made better with the title?
I felt both had powerful titles, to be honest. And I think it just enhanced the speech. So I have no problems with the title. The title was good.
Okay.
If only the evaluators could probably talk about it. I mean, that's my observation. I don't think it's really necessary. So I really cannot say, I take back my word. I cannot say they have to. But if really it makes its place there in the speech, then probably they could also mention it.
Got it. Understood.
Srivatsa is trying to say that the cat is out of the bag right at the beginning when you say have the courage to be yourself. That's what he's trying to say. I agree with you to a large extent, but if you ask me to give another title, then I'll have to think about it on the spot. If I give you a title, it may sound very lame. And Divya and others will wonder what sort of a title is this? So, but I do agree with the point that Srivatsa has made, that probably something more intriguing, which doesn't make you get to the root of the matter immediately, could be tried. But what that is going to be, Srivatsa, sorry, I can't tell you offhand because, as I've already said, it might not.
I just wanted to extract this particular point from you. Fine. The last question for this, were you persuaded? Yes or no?
Who is this question for?
Both. Yes or no? Only yes or no.
Can I say no?
That is left to you. That's your opinion.
So in reality shows, one just says, okay, to the next level. The other just says no. So it's like that. So I say yes.
I say no.
Got it. Understood. This is what we have learned a lot of discussion on both the evaluators and few points in the speaker, and it gave us a very good highlights. And now I feel it's time we need to provide 1 minute, right, for the evaluators. If you have any questions, you can raise it to the panelists.
Yeah, I'm going to jump right in because
Yeah.
Ashima can't be seen here. Is you see, as panelists and moderators, you are losing the sight of the problem that which I didn't mention, that my speaker went beyond time, which I did not mention, which I should have, and also with so many recommendations that you make, to fit it all in 3 minutes and 30 seconds is virtually impossible. You're going to disqualify yourself in a contest if you go through all the points that the panelists have mentioned, because you have to fit everything in 3 minutes and 30 seconds, and the way you choose to place them is up to you so that you don't run out of time. So I think the panelists also have to be very careful that what they say and how to fit it, what they say, within the time provided. That's very important. I have written 2 pages here in the post-operative room, okay? But I cannot put it all because I have to get the priority right. And I did mention right at the beginning, what a catchy title. I'm totally converted, which the panelists didn't hear. I met that and I've written it down here, right in the beginning, that totally persuaded by your very catchy title. I also mentioned that your mother, so many years older than your daughter, little daughter Sasha, which I did say. So I brought out the disparity in the ages of the two people who persuaded her. So these things are important, which means the moderators also, panelists also must listen to us very carefully. I say that with all due respect. You know me too well. I
With due
don't mince my
respect,
words.
with due respect to you, Dr. Ballal, absolutely. The only objective that we as panelists have is to enhance your speech. It's totally,
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, it's
But you
totally.
see, it can be a demotivator also when you don't touch on all the points. Because you have 10 minutes, we have only 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
The
So
objective.
you must take view of the problem as to you have taught me yourself, you're my mentor, both Malini and Jyotika are my mentors. You have said how to fit within the time. I'm going beyond 1 minute provided to you. I rest my case. Thank you very much.
Okay, if I could respond, I don't know where you mentioned mother-daughter because that was not for you, that was for Divya. That was not for you at all. That was not for the evaluator. I think there is a
Oh,
kind of mix-up here. It was not
okay.
meant for you, it was meant for Divya as to how she could have made that message stronger. So that was
And
not meant for you. And about other suggestions that, what I felt could have been given. The thing is, it's not that we are expecting you to have all those suggestions, but as moderators and as panelists, we have these observations that these are the suggestions. Now, if you feel those suggestions are more powerful than the suggestions that you made, next time you will remember. That's it. We are not saying that you should bring in everything. But supposing, as the evaluator, when you listened to us, you felt, oh, yes, this could have been my recommendation. Because I always feel when it comes to recommendations, the more original you are, the better are your chances of winning the contest. For example, when you talk about body language or voice modulation, sorry to say, those are the common recommendations that we give. So, in a persuasive speech, can you go beyond that and give a recommendation that would fall under the framework of the persuasive speech? Is what I was trying to tell you when I said that a persuasive speaker should not sound as though that person is preaching something to the audience. So, that was my recommendation. But having said that, what I consider important, you might not consider important. And if you still feel that your recommendations were better than what was suggested by us as panelists or as moderator, you have the freedom of choice of saying, no, I would like to make these recommendations and I'm happy with the recommendation that I've made. The only thing is that it's a cafeteria system. Many ideas are given to you. Pick them if you want, leave them if you don't want. And we are also like you. We are not anyone who is in a separate category as panelists with extra wisdom and knowledge and experience, expertise, nothing. We are one of you. So we will say what we think is right. But if you feel we are wrong, okay, fine. No problem at all. You stick to what you think is right. That's it, doctor.
Absolutely.
Thank you very
It's
much.
done in good faith, and we really hope that you don't take it
Yeah.
otherwise.
But you must, but you must also, always try to teach us on how to stay within the time. You see, the prioritization is important. We all do evaluations. The prioritization is important. Just like Divya's speech went beyond. I mean, why did she? No one asked, why did she go beyond time? The moderator also didn't ask. Why did she go? Where could she have shortened the speech?
What was Divya's time taken?
7 minutes and 30,
35
seconds.
35
35
seconds.
seconds. Yes.
5 seconds overboard.
5 seconds.
Yes. Yes.
But in a contest, she disqualifies herself, you see, by doing that.
Yeah, that's true. But then, I mean, since it's that an online speech, it didn't bother me so much, so I didn't ask that question.
And likewise, when you don't see the timer, you don't know. There's so
Okay.
many points
I'll,
which come
I'll
to you.
answer, I'll answer that question. It goes back to my observation where I made that there were multiple messages in this. And this is one of the reasons why the speech went overboard, which means she has to work on the structure and kind of condense it, say what is required. So to sum up, that is the thing. She has to work on the structure of the speech, which perhaps you could have made your evaluation better by bringing in the structure of the speech. I believe personally, if you have to really listen from the panelist's mouth, is that you could probably observe the speech well and say that structure is what will help her better rather than just saying voice modulation and gestures. I rest my case.
Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. It was a wonderful panel moderation. Being panel moderator for today, it was the speeches were.
Just a
Yeah.
minute.
Yeah.
DTM CK had the chance. Ashima was not there that time.
Yeah, I was
Maybe
going
you
to
could
call
just
her.
ask her
Yeah,
whether
I'll do
she
it.
has any.
I'll do it.
Ma'am, I was very well there. I was just listening to all the
Oh,
conversations.
okay,
Just
okay.
my video was
I
not
thought
on.
because
No, no, no,
DTM
no.
CK said you were not
No,
seeing.
no. The thing is that I had a lot of things to add, but it's just that I think whatever I wanted to say, sir has already said all the points, so I didn't have to budge in it. So yes, thank you so much.
Got it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, evaluators. And thank you so much, panelists, for taking up this role and providing your insights on how the evaluation was, providing the commendations and providing the recommendations for both evaluators and speakers. I really had a wonderful time. Thank you so much for your valuable time, for providing the valuable insights. Now, I would like to hand over the stage to Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Baron.
Thank you.
Thank you, panel moderator Srivatsa. That session was truly insightful and appreciate how you conducted it, Srivatsa. Thank you to our moderator and panelists for your depth, insight, and generosity of feedback. If we noticed something special tonight, each evaluator brought a different lens. Some focused on structure, some on delivery, some on connection. And that is the beauty of this club. No effort goes unnoticed. No potential goes untapped. As you come to the end of today's session, I will invite you to reflect on the feedback shared, on the growth witnessed, and on your own potential to evaluate, elevate, and empower others. Because a great evaluator doesn't just give advice, a great evaluator gives attention, and attention, when given with care, transforms people. It has been my pleasure serving you as your Toastmaster of the Day for this meeting. Thank you for your presence, your participation, and your pursuit of excellence. And now to wrap up today's session with feedback, final announcements, and the much awaited declaration of winners, I hand the meeting back to our club president. Over to you, President.
Thank you very much, Warren. Let's give Warren a huge round of applause. This is his debut performance and debut role in the club. So let's unmute ourselves and give him a huge round of applause. Meticulous, precise, well prepared. Warren, you were truly awesome today. Thank you very much. All right. What a fiery experience today. I just loved it. I really loved it. And I think our role players made it even better. Now, the best thing of learning is having these cross questions, and that is the way you question. And when you come forward and question, the others in the audience learn, we learn. And like DTM Malini rightfully said, no one is above anyone in terms of skill set. We're all in the same boat. We're here to learn and get better. With that, let's leave. Before I announce the winners, I just want to give 2 minutes for our member feedback. We don't have any guests here today, but it would be really nice to hear from our members. What was your learning today from the session? Who would like to go?
I like to.
Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I just felt that somebody talked about a speech title for Divya's speech, and I think it comes at the end of her speech where she said, "Come home to yourself." I think that would be a nice title for her speech. Come home to yourself, instead of the way she let go. And the other thing I'm talking about is absence. Now, I feel that a persuasive speech is persuasive if there is humor in the speech. I missed humor everywhere. I thought that, even Divya could have, made some sort of funny references to how she felt, when she was not authentic. And when others felt she was not authentic and so on, or when she felt she was not authentic. So I would say that humor kind of is very persuasive, and I miss that. Only those two things.
Thank you very much, ma'am. That's a very valid observation. And Divya, you heard it. And I think that humor is something that is challenging, yes, but it can definitely elevate your speech. Anyone else would like to speak?
Yeah, I would like to speak.
Yes, Malini.
First and foremost, I want to congratulate both the speakers. They were very good, and I was able to connect with them. And as far as evaluation is concerned, I feel I am a novice, but still, I'll try to say this. The suggestions given by the evaluators were delivered gently, so they felt like useful things. So it was very clear, encouraging, and uplifting. So overall, an encouraging and an insightful evaluation. So thank you very much for a very enriching experience.
Thank you very much. But here I would like all of us to unmute ourselves and give Malini a huge round of applause, because I'm hearing Malini speak in the meeting for the very first time. So welcome to the club, Malini. I'm so happy that you took the courage to speak, and truly, like Divya said, courage to be yourself. And that's what we are looking at. Okay. All right.
Wonderful. Well said, Jyotika. Well said.
Thank you. Okay, it's now time to announce. Anyone would like to speak before I move on to the winners?
I would have been able to say, I'm obviously I was listening.
Why? Okay, all right. Okay, so before we move on to the winners, let's take a picture. So I request everyone to switch on your video. Srivatsa. Malini, if you can please, Ashima, Malini, Vijay, please switch on your video.
Everyone, please smile. If you want, you can show emojis. 3, 2, 1, go. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. And the best speaker for today is the lady, the Toastmaster, the distinguished Toastmaster who said, I am there. Distinguished Toastmaster, Maria DaCosta. Over to congratulations, DTA Maria. You are the best speaker today.
Thank you.
And the best evaluator for this evening is our man with the scrub, the dedicated, distinguished Toastmaster, C.K. Balal. Congratulations, Dr. C.K. Okay. Our next meeting is as usual on Tuesday, but this time we have is it the 26th, the next? Oh, sorry, Monday. Well, being in multiple clubs has its own. Okay, if the next meeting will be our IAC and evaluation contest, so please be ready. I'd like to wish each one of you all the very best wishes Please come forward to take up roles as Srivatsa announces it in the group, and also please participate. And that is the charm. That is going to take you
ನಾನು
forward.
ಹೇಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು?
ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ, ತೊಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ.
Malini wants you to listen to her further.
Further, Kannada. All right. With that, I'd like to call it a day. Good night to each one of you, and see you on 26th of January. Take care, sleep well,
Bye.
and
Good night.
happy evening. Good night.
Bye. Bye-bye.